everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. I'm here today for Tuesday 10. If you're new here, this is where I take 10 things out of my big paper basket that I have saved, torn out of books, magazines, digitals that I printed, what have you. And I keep on going until I use all 10 things up. So today I have this page of a children's animal sort of encyclopedia. This came from an 1800s scrapbook. This was just a painting experiment that I did on some paper from like an old magazine. This is another children's book page from an encyclopedia. Another snippet from an 1800s scrapbook. Then I have a little bit of a theme going on today, and it is these great big surrealism book pages. So in case you're new here, I'm currently working on 10 Curiosa journals, and I found a lot of weird images in this book, but I really want to use these up. I don't know if they'll all go into the Curiosa journals, but they're huge papers, and they're just like taking up a lot of space, and they keep kind of hanging and falling out of my basket. So I figure let's get to it with those. So the first one I do want to use in my Curiosa journal, and I love the entire page. So I'm trying to think, like there's these little tiny owls here. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to think how I can use such a big piece of paper and make it worthwhile. And what I think I'll do is actually something I've been doing lately, which is making pages that are shaped this way into like a piece of stationery that has like a section that I fold down and use in the center of a signature. So I think that's what I will do with this one, because I don't want to lose any of the image. It's just very, very cool. So we have to cover the back with something. I don't know, is this too small? No, it's probably okay. Hold on. I'm going to get a different piece of paper. I think a coffee dye paper would be much nicer on there, especially because we want it to be like an actual page in a journal. And I am at the point where I'm trying to introduce more writing space into these books. Now that I've got most of the kind of busy pages done, I've got to next work on the papers that will be writing space type papers, which are usually all different kinds of dyed paper. And then it's ephemera. I've made a bit of ephemera for them, but I still have lots to go. This week I've just been kind of recovering from this really nasty cold. Not the dreaded virus or anything, but just a bad cold. My symptoms have been nothing like COVID or anything. They're just, it's like a head cold. I sort of have this like endless head congestion and a lot of sleepiness and an earache, which is getting progressively worse. I think I might need to talk to the doctor if it doesn't hurt less tomorrow, although I do think it's all sinus related. I think everything going on, I have a sinus type cold or infection perhaps. So if I don't get better, I would say by like Tuesday, or not Tuesday, today's Tuesday, Thursday, I'm going to give myself 2 days. The other tea day in the week, Thursday, I'll give myself that, and then if I'm not better, then I have to go to the doctor. Okay, so that one I'm going to let it be, and I will stitch around it. This image is a little bit to look at. I don't really like it, but I want to keep these two skeletons. See these cool skeletons? Everything else I pretty much hate in this whole image, so let me just get rid of a bunch of it. Sorry to make you look at it at all. I don't like it, especially the middle. The middle's the worst. Okay. I also don't like all these creatures back here. I do like skeletons though. And when you take all the violent context away, they just become cool skeletons instead of these scary things. Okay, that's one. Get rid of these weirdos. Yeah, so this was a really huge poster book on surrealism. It had lots of like Brock and Dolly and other surrealists. So I think what I'd like to do with these maybe, they'd be kind of cool together. I mean, I could make a couple of tags with them. But do I want them to be like one piece maybe and do something kind of neat? 1 second, I'm gonna grab something. Okay, so this is what I wanted to grab. So let's do something a little different maybe with these. So first I want to glue this down, and I'm just going to use a pencil to kind of go around roughly where I need to glue, because I want to glue on the gray paper rather than on the doily itself, because gluing on doilies is like the best way to chunk up your glue stick and gouge it all up, and I really don't like doing so. Okay. It's going to be a little tacky, and that's okay. Oh, and I'm somehow a little too big, but that's also okay. It's probably better that it's a little too big than not big enough. Okay, so we've got a background. Then what was I thinking here? I want to keep the room, but I want to cut a little bit of the space out there. Do the same with him. Okay. Yeah, so I had a bit of a busy day and a busy weekend last weekend. My daughter had all of her sporting events, and we ended up going on a nice kind of a day trip to a city that we frequently go to, and we want to just have some time doing different things, and did a little bit of thrifting and participated in a fun auction. My local scrapbook store has like an auction every now and then, and she's clearing out things that she's sort of like used in workshops or she's had from her past life, kind of doing different kinds of work that she doesn't do anymore. And I think also when you own a scrapbook store, that like you accumulate a lot of things from teaching classes and doing stuff like that. So it's always lots of fun, and you can usually find a few good deals. So I got a few things. Need to roam over there and pick them up this week. Okay, that's fun. So yeah, I could have made tags, but I didn't. I love making tags, right? So I'm actually happy I made something else. Now I think what I want to do with this, it could wrap around either way. Like it could be a folio anywhere, but I kind of feel like I would like it most in the center of a signature. I would really enjoy them together. You could put some cool words on there maybe too. I don't know. I know I have some kind of grim or weird like poetry. I would like to add something. That's kind of romantic. A rose to the living is more than sumptuous wreaths to the dead. In filling love's infinite store, a rose to the living is more, if graciously given before the hungering spirit is fled. A rose to the living is more than sumptuous wreaths to the dead. That's kind of cool. You know, and it's like, because they're both there, I feel like it's kind of relevant. Like you wonder what was their story. Let me find my art glitter glue for that, because it would just be better, I think. I'll put that down here on his side so that we keep her red dress, because I feel like it's like a good symbolism with the reference to the rose. And I mean, she does have a flower in her hat as well. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay. 2 down. Now this big, huge piece here, I'm quite happy to get rid of him. I don't need him. This big, huge piece of paper out of here. Trim this down a bit. And decide how long we want her to be. Maybe there. And then I would like to maybe cover up some of her bits and bobs with some things. Maybe some butterflies or moths. Also, I just think it kind of gives it a really bit of a pretty feel. Oops. Just get some glue on these. How did I have them? That's good, that's good. Maybe a little higher here. Wipe away this glue. Okay, now maybe make that ever so slightly shorter so that I can use this paper to back it with. So I think I have my children's birthday presents all sorted out. And I think I know what kind of cake I'm going to be making them. It's actually going to be a little bit simpler this year, I think. Like in past years, I have made these very complicated kind of character sculpted like cakes. And these days, I think both of my kids are like, yeah, we don't really care about the theme. We just want it to be good, you know? So I think it's going to be kind of like probably brownies themed and like have some sprinkles and stuff. Because that's really what they're into right now, is chocolate and sprinkles when it comes to desserts. So that's easier than like having to, like the cake I made last year I think was like Sonic and Tails, and I had to like hand sculpt them, and yeah, it was not easy, but it turned out cute. I did a Cookie Monster one year for my daughter, and then one year she wanted a strawberry shortcake. I did like an elaborate fruit cake for my son. But one year we bought I think we bought a cake from Marble Slab, but I don't know, there's something weird to me about like buying a cake. I feel like I don't know what's wrong with me, like I'm their mom, I should make their cake. I have to get myself out of that mindset. You don't always have to do that. There we go, that's cute. Okay, that goes aside now. We can use that for backing. I like using these pages. They're these really vintage, like cottony paper. This was a really old book, actually. I love this hilarious bear. He's like standing there like he's a man or something. I kind of want to like cut him out and like put him in a funny kind of scene. I'm going to cut him out. He looks like a man in a bear suit. Kind of reminding myself of like this weird music montage thing from a few years ago called Man on a Buffalo. Like there were, I don't know if anyone has heard of this before, but if you Google Man on a Buffalo, you will find it, and it's like a really fun overdubbed video of a man riding on a buffalo, and like someone made fun of it because it's actually really funny, but I think it was from like an old TV show. So I'm going to cut out this dodo because I want to put that in my Curiosa books, because you know we don't have those anymore. I mean, we don't have quagos anymore either. They're also extinct. So those could be kind of cool Curiosa. Okay. These are all extinct animals. Moa, the passenger pigeon. Przewalski's horse is not extinct. I know that it is endangered, and I know that one of its, I think its like ancestral home is actually in Ukraine, which is sad with what's gone on in Ukraine. It's one of the things that I always find, like, you know, I obviously have great care for people in this world, but I often find, you know, that we kind of can overlook sometimes when what animals go through during wars and things too. Okay, what to do with these little bits? What do I have handy here? So I have this 2-inch square Becky Higgins punch, and I'm thinking about using this Tim Holtz ideology card here to make like a specimen card with, and it could have the dodo inside, certainly, or the quagga. Maybe the quagga. No, not big enough. I think we have to go with the bird. I think I cut that crooked. Ay, 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 ay. How did I cut it crooked? What a weird... Here, let's set this here. Okay, we know we don't want to go too close. Okay, it's all the way to the back. Oops. Oh yeah, that's clearly straight compared to the other one. What am I doing? Alright, let's just get our little cutter here so I can stay on a track of doing this straight. Get rid of that. Okay, that's fun. Then make sure this is straight. Yeah, it's straight. Okay. And we'll put this here. Our passenger pigeon. And then back here we will glue. Okay. And I see this little stamp that's just been hanging around on my desk, and I think I'll add it there too. Maybe on a bit of an angle. Then around the corners. And then can we find a word snippet? Oh, this is kind of interesting. Pigeons came in by the kitchen window. That was unplanned. It's actually the back side of the intended word snippet that I have here, but this is a passenger pigeon, so it's kind of perfect. So we have a really big hawk. I haven't identified what it is yet. Coming into our backyard now. I don't know what it's hunting for, but I feel like probably squirrels, because squirrels hang around my house a lot. They are currently, you know, working hard, right, to get all their food sorted out for this winter, and I am a little concerned that they're going to get munched on, so we have to pick up the remainder of our apples, but there's some in my apple tree that are too high for me to get to, so I don't know. The animals love my apples. They come for the remainder that I leave behind for them that we don't use in some way. Okay, that's fun. A little stitch around that maybe. Okay. Now I need to move this bunch out of the way and this glue. And we'll move on. Now I think this image that I have next, it's another one of these. I'm going to figure these out too, but this is another one of these big, huge images. And it's this cool, it's like a foot growing into a hand, like a tree. And I feel like I want to use that whole image again in the same way, where it's like the center of a page. And I know it's kind of a cop-out because I'm doing the same thing twice. But you know, sometimes it's like these big, beautiful pieces of art. I don't know what else I would do with them. I don't want to like lose any of that cool surreal imagery. And I'll show you what I mean about like what to do with them. Okay. Get rid of all that. So now what I'll do is I'll give this a fold this way. And then I need to measure inches. Okay, so it's got to be under 6, which it is. Perfect. And at 9 inches is where I need to fold it. So that's right here. Okay. So when it goes in the book, okay, it's going to go in the center signature of the book, like so. And I will sew the signatures in with this up, so you'll have like, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, however you do your signatures, so that when you open the center of that folio, you flip this up and you still have this whole cool piece of art. And it's also like tip out journaling space. But what I also want to do on the back of it, I think, is probably cover this, because I don't know, this doesn't really go with my Curiosa theme, so I'm going to cover it with some paper. I'll get some, let me see what I have. Maybe we'll just cover it with these. Let's just use these old pages, because they'll be kind of a cool collage. And then I do have to consider that that will be folded. I mean, I do have the option to try to like just maybe frame a piece of paper in each of these as writing space. So that's one side. Two sides. Because the backgrounds aren't like really offensive or anything. They're just whatever. I'm just going to go up the side of this one and get rid of this kind of willowy edge. Put that here. Should probably do the same with this edge. It also doesn't really look that great. Okay. And then just for fun, and because I like the way it looks, I'm going to take some of this masking tape. I'm going to run it right down the center here, and it will cover that color that I'm not interested in seeing for that spot. And then I'm going to take a couple extra pieces just as like fun kind of scrappy aesthetic, and also to hold down any edges that just don't seem to want to immediately stick. This one's just purely aesthetics. There, so that's what the back side of that will look like. Then we have this to deal with, and I want to do the same thing with it. So I'll grab more of this paper, which thankfully I have more right here from this little book. So then this one we're going to fold up. So if you can hear my kids upstairs, they are playing around being kids. Okay. All right, now what you will have in the journal now is this page. Just make sure that our fold is where we want it to be. I'm just going to grab my bone folder and reinforce my folds again. Okay. So then this will open. You have writing space in all these areas, and obviously you can embellish them. You could stencil, which I'll probably do something like that, stamp stencil. But yeah, that's what I want to do with that page. Now we have one more of these big, huge guys to use. So I first just really love this owl up here, and that's the number one reason that I wanted to get it, was to make like a pocket with this owl. And let me see what else is going on here. This is quite a grim image. I won't even hold it up too close to you because I don't want you to be freaked out. This would make a really nice background for our man bear. Just kidding. I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet, but I really like him. He's great. So charming. Although I do have like the joy of whenever I sell a journal or I send out a package to anyone, I usually will send a piece of ephemera in a greeting. So like I definitely do have the option to create something with him like this that's like very weird and send that to like one of my Patreons. I seriously am going to just do that. It's very funny. Let's put him on this side though. I like him here with this. You have to have fun. You just have to. That's what life's all about. Okay. He's so funny. He just looks like he has like a mission in life. Like he's got dreams. He's got to get to work. I like him. Okay. This now we need. How wide will this be? Quite wide. So because I want it to be a pocket, I'm going to trim some of the triangle off both ends. Then I need like a thick paper to put it on. There's little pieces of sketchbook paper that I'm trying to use for something useful here. This might be good. So glue that down. And then we just have to cut the pocket shape that I want, which will kind of be like a bottom stopper, like tuck spot, freeform pocket type shape. Quite simple but fun. Good example of like paying attention to architecture in books and letting it create cool journal ephemera and shapes and things. Okay, so that's that. Okay. Now we need to back this. Will that fit on there? It will. Serendipitous. Okay, there might be some words of wisdom that we need him to have. Always creeping, never sleeping. Oh Lord, that came out of like a Michael's kit. The lofty skies at once come pouring down. That's funny. If it were a rain scene, I would use that maybe. The most beautiful city in the world. I feel like it needs something with more humor. need to definitely get cutting more word snippets, because even though this box is pretty full, I feel like I need more. Tongue double brings trouble, lived happily. When the moon had risen high in the sky, beautiful island, big green leaves, enclosed in a jar, place of enchantment. This is tough. An enchanted castle in the midst. Maybe. A magic ball of yarn, as wise as a bee. Weather in seasons. Yeah, I think yeah, I think I need to go with an enchanted castle in the midst. I like that. I think that will work for this, because it's sort of, you know, telling a little story about him, which I'm always a big fan of. There we go. That will get stitched. Now, her, quite simply, I think I'd like to make a tag with her. This came out of a scrapbook from the 1800s. Really a beautiful scrapbook. And I've used many things from it. I'm just trying to use up some of the last big pages from it. Trying to use every last bit that I can. Because when you find those kind of treasures, you try to use as much as possible, right? And I'll probably stitch some nice fabric to the top of this. Okay, I'll probably just trim it a little. Look at that. So I need to straighten that a bit. There we go. And then we'll cut this into a tag. Actually, extremely low on tags because I just sent out a bunch of mail. So it's good that I'm making tags. That one, and then this page, what I thought I wanted to use here is this fun little flying fish, and I think that would be a really awesome little pocket. Yeah, I think that's really all I want from that, so I'll just glue this to this page. whenever I make these simple little things, I always think to myself, like, I kept this whole thing just for this little piece. So it's good to, like, use this stuff up. I was wondering if I have a little, me and my word snippets, my obsession with word snippets. I'm going to use this one that says to be discovered anew. I just think it will add a little something right there. Okay. And that leaves us with our last piece here. No, not quite last. First we have this one. This one also, I want to do the same thing with it, a tag. It's from the same book. It's nice and big. Actually, it's quite thick paper. I don't even think I'm going to back it. I'm just going to trim it a little. I don't want to trim too much on the top because I want her to keep her flowers. This here. And that there. I want to make it like a tall, nice, tall, thin tag. Okay. So now we have this. I need to back it because it's on very thin, old mechanical parts catalog paper. I may even need, I need 2 of those. These are really quite thin, these folders. These I got in a book. They're quite thin. It's a thrifted book, like a binder. Okay, now I need some, grab some of my paper dolls here. Let me try to decide what to use. I don't think I want one of these because they're printed on that brown. And I want more color than that. Got these little guys. Maybe I could make a series of tags. 1, 2. We could do this tall cat. Actually, let's do those 3 maybe. Maybe not that one. Yeah, I kind of want them all to be like the same size. Let's go with those 3. And if you're interested in these images, these are from different kits of digital paper doll creatures that I sell on Etsy. I usually sketch these about once a month or so, and I release a new collection of little creatures, usually kind of seasonal. They're a little anthropomorphic, kind of fun. Okay, that's my ruler. Okay. one. Kind of want to keep that 4. I need to cut it though. I'm going to lose a little bit of your tail. I'm sorry, my friend. It's all in the name of making this piece cuter. Okay. And this one, he almost feels too little. But he'd be cute. He'd be cute somewhere, for sure. Okay, I found The Forest on Winter Mornings. I think I will use that. It's just a simple little snippet of words to give him something extra. Okay, so it's time now to go and stitch around the things we need to stitch, and then I will come back and show you everything that we made. Okay, so we made 13 pieces of ephemera today, which is great. So first little tag, stitched around, added a little fabric. This one I just stitched around, didn't add anything. These two, stitched around, added fabric to that one. Added some black fabric to that old scrapbook. And then added a little gold ribbon up top of this to just go with the rest of the gold. Stitched around the little pocket. Here's this charming bear. I added all sorts of bits and bobs. So I keep, like, over near my sewing machine, I keep a little Ort jar of threads, and I keep like bits and bobs of little bits of fabric. And so I just stitched that on. Stitched around this a couple of times. This I did not stitch. It's good as is. Here is our big piece of stationery ephemera, basically. So that, I think I have a couple of options for what to do with, but I do think I'll probably end up doing the same with it as here, but I'm going to just keep it like this in case I do want to fold it and put it in a pocket or wrap it around. Then this one, of course. And this one. So that's it for me for today for Tuesday 10. I had fun. I hope you did too. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now.